Hello everybody, welcome at the World Port Hackathon 2016. My name is Dawn van Duivenbode, a Rotterdam-based journalist and your interviewer of today. Welcome all the people from Real. Welcome Maria Luisa Niculescu Aron, Klemen Liligen and Antonio Almeida.
The other way around.
Oh, the other way around. Sorry guys,
No,
sorry.
okay.
All good.
Maria Luisa, let's start with you. Real, what do you do?
Thank you for having us here. So Real is a middleware cloud platform. So what we do is we take care of the software architecture. That means you have a lot of legacy, right, in ports. For example, you don't only have new devices, you have a combination of really old devices and new devices. And what we do is we take information from all those devices, we combine it, we build the intelligence all the way to the cloud so we can make it business relevant. And yeah, that's partially also involves scalability issues. So, for example, let's say you have a container business. You have thousands of containers around the world with a lot of data points on them. And you want to send all that information to the cloud so that you can have access to it, right? It's what we're trying to, one of the problems we're trying to solve here today. And if you want to ping that information to the cloud very often, it becomes very expensive. Imagine having data about weather, and you ping every 10 milliseconds, 23 degrees, 23 degrees, 23 degrees. That's very expensive, and it's not business relevant data. So what we can do is we can implement some rule engine, and we only select what's important, right? So that it becomes feasible and scalable. So yeah, we're here to really help all the guys and provide them with some tools and some learnings from other industries. So we work with a lot of customers such as smart cities, manufacturing, a lot of asset tracking, so we can bring a little bit of expertise from different industries.
Yeah, and you do sales at Real. You are the technical guys.
Yes.
Why is a hackathon so important?
What we are, me and my colleague here, Klemen, we're developer evangelists, and this is a relatively recent occupation. And the idea is that all big companies, all big software companies have this kind of people, so Google, Microsoft, Facebook. And the idea is that you develop a product that you want to market to developers. So you need other developers to talk to them. And what we do is marketing, but oriented towards developers. So we're both technical people, and we know how to talk with them, and this is what we do. So usually only big companies have this kind of people. So Real is kind of very forward thinking, being a small startup, by having also developer evangelists. So we participate in hackathons all around the world that are relevant to our business, and that's what we do.
And you are a very international company based in Berlin.
Yes, we are based in Berlin. That's where we have all the development. It's around 60 people in Berlin, and you have a few also in the UK and also a few in the US. And since we have American investors, because we're a venture-backed company, our headquarters now as a legal status is in the US.
Yeah.
So although we have our main office is in Berlin.
How much hackathons have you been to?
I've been with Real. This is my second one with Real, but before it I've been to at least 10, 15.
What is different here in Rotterdam?
The difference is that it's a very specific problem they're tackling here, and through this we learn about a lot of new challenges that we think IoT could be a good solution for. And the thing is that a lot of groups here didn't think that it's very easy nowadays to implement new sensors on already existing devices. So for us it's pretty interesting to demystify the technologies we have and show them that it's very easy to use them as a building block.
Yeah, exactly, because I can, what I hear, there is a big gap between what people think of and the market and the practical use. What do you feel that, according to you, what is according to you the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge? So this is a very standardized industry. It's a very old and standardized industry, and it's showing the business value of doing IoT. And because if you go to some industries, they have this thing called the cargo cult, which is that you just think about an idea because it's trendy, and if you repeat that idea and try to implement it in a half-baked way, you will have results. But here, no. People here know that this is a very standardized, a very standard in the industry, very settled, well-settled industry, very old. They won't go for that. You have to show them something that really will benefit them, and then, of course, they will adopt it. But it cannot be, oh, I want to do IoT because it's a big it's a trendy thing, and we want to do it. So there's no politics involved. It's strictly business-oriented, and if you can show the volume, they will adopt it. If not, they will just let it pass by because they don't have any time for this.
Yeah, and what would be, in what fields do you think there are a lot of opportunities to look at?
So the question is right now, automation is taking, robotics automation is taking control of port operations. But these are type of systems that are extremely fragile and everything is very expensive. And where IoT could really help is that it's a cheap way of doing things. You don't need to do this almost billion euros investment to automate a terminal. You can do it much cheaper by retrofitting old machines and getting new data streams and establishing control loops, local control loops. You can do that very cheaply. And the technologies around IoT is that. It's like cost-effective technologies that you can use to make your infrastructure, your port in this case, smart, also for shipping all around it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because it is an ambition to be the smartest port. What from your discipline, you do sales, what would an advice be that you could give the Port of Rotterdam?
To think outside the box, and sometimes it's great to do a lot of prototypes, but it's also good to not reinvent the wheel, so to look a little bit to other industries. So for example, smart cities, or even...
What is a smart city?
Smart city can include everything. We do a lot around buildings, so we connect buildings, digital ceiling, the entire system of electricity, water, heating, and we control them and we make them efficient. So this can also be done here, right? You have a lot of similarities with the manufacturing industry, because like ports, they have a lot of legacy devices. They have old machines, and they've invested so much in the existing base, they can't just throw it away and make everything brand new. Right? There's a lot of companies whose future depends on it. And it's the same here, and sometimes it's smarter, instead of putting a fully automated thing, to test very quickly with IoT, with devices, and see what works for you. So we, from a business point of view, we've developed this framework out of need, really. We call it the 5-4-3, and it's very similar to a hackathon. And it's basically first very business. We involved all the decision makers, we involve different business units to understand what the problems are, right, of a port. And then we take those learnings when we come up with 3 leading ideas of what we can do, what we can prototype. Then in 4 business weeks, we quickly prototype those, we find learnings, and then with really minimum investments, you find what works and what doesn't. And so you don't end up with a stack like this, we build this, a 5-year plan, and then you find out it's wrong or it doesn't work for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what is, you came here from Berlin, it's not that far away, but still it's 6 hours. What made it worth coming here, do you think now?
Well, for us, well, for me, I'm Portuguese, so I came from a maritime nation, so I like everything related with the sea and ships. That's the first thing. But you wanted to learn more about this industry because it's ripe for disruption. It's a very mature industry, then it's ripe for disruption, and you want to learn more so that we can build business cases around it and try to propose solutions, real solutions to everyone that is involved in this industry. That's why we came here, and to meet the people.
Yeah. And the next year, what could be done maybe better? Is there advice to be done better next year?
I know what your advice is going to be on a boat.
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah, so I have this crazy plan, which is to do an hackathon on a boat, and people won't have internet, and they will really have to focus.
Oh my God! Without internet?
Exactly. It's just a local area network, and everyone.
Is that possible? A hackathon without internet?
It is. It is. There's retreats done for programmers, developers, where they do it in remote islands where there's no internet, and people stay there for a couple of days and they focus on the problem. There's no distraction. But I think it's interesting to do it on the boat because we have access to all the machinery on the boat. You can instrument everything. And then you can focus on the problem. And you can, I was talking yesterday with someone from Singapore, and they say from Singapore to Shanghai is 7 days, and I'll say, well, that will be a perfect
What a
time.
great idea.
Exactly.
Yeah, what a great idea. Let's talk with Leo Gammers, one of the founders. He was just here, and I think he's downstairs somewhere. Let's go check him and introduce the plan. It's a great idea. Thank you, Relayer, for being here. Have fun today, and have a safe trip back. Thank you again for watching, and we'll be right back.